Lukas Designer's Gouache is a high-quality opaque watercolor from Germany. And for those of you that have not worked with gouache before, it has some very unique working properties because of that opacity. Now, most of the time with watercolor, transparency is what makes it so unique. But these are designed to be a little bit different, to have more covering power. And that leads to all different types of artistic techniques. I'll just kind of show you a little bit of how they work, and I'm working fairly thick with them here. But you see they go down a little bit more like a thin down acrylic than I would say a watercolor, but depending on how much water you use, that can vary. Now, if I was to allow this to dry, I would be able to then, layer over it, lightly. You don't want to. It doesn't dry permanent. It will still re-wet. So you, when you layer with gouache, you still want to make sure that you are ginger with it. Do it gingerly. Then we'll bring in some blue and see what happens when we mix these two opaque colors together. So you can see that blue. I am getting a little bit of green tint. Remember that yellow is still wet, but the blue kind of stays dominant because I'm covering over it, and it's also a bit of a stronger color. So I'll go into red to just kind of show you what that might be like. This is we're using primaries here, so this is our magenta. I'm working thick. I want to make sure that I can kind of give you an idea at home. And you can see that that's covering here pretty well over that yellow. And let's see what happens when we mix it with the blue. Actually get a fairly nice purple out of that. So those two colors are both fairly strong, so they did mix pretty well. There are different sets that we have available. If you're new to gouache and you just want to kind of give them a try, the set of 12 milliliter tubes are going to be, I think it's like a really nice price point for 12 colors. You can give them a shot. We have our basic set of 6 and then our pro set of 12, which are larger tubes that I think they're 20 milliliters. That gives you a lot of color, a lot to play with. So if you haven't used gouache before, the Lukas is a great line to try. Their opaque watercolors are absolutely gorgeous, vivid. They re-wet, and let me just show you real quick how they dry, because right here you can see that they're still wet. One of the things that makes gouache really unique, especially the Lukas, is the velvety matte finish. So if you look here, especially at these blues, this is a yellow ochre and a black, like a velvet matte finish, a very nice finish, and that's another thing that people that use gouache are looking for, is how they dry. So Lukas Designer's Gouache, hope you give them a try.